Hi, everybody. Welcome to Morning in the Valley. It is August the 18th, as we are now 11 weeks away. Countdown continues to tick down towards the opening day, November 3rd, of the college basketball season. Coming up in just a moment, we're going to have my conversation with Murray State head coach Ryan Miller. Got a chance to catch up with him last week after the Racers had a successful trip to the Bahamas to get a sneak peek and an early look at this new edition of the Racers. 15 new guys on that roster, and certainly the scoreboard said it was a success. We will get Coach Miller's version of how things went down in the Bahamas in just a moment. Glad you're with us today. If you haven't done so, please head to YouTube, subscribe to the show for free. Just like, share, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. And just, again, continues to get us into the algorithm and get more Missouri Valley loving folks this program in front of their eyeballs as it continues to grow a little more as we, again, steamroll towards the start of the 2025-26 season. Okay. Ryan Miller. Last week was kind of the today. See how many sentences I can start without completing one of them. Today, Murray State students are back. I believe classes start today, maybe tomorrow. I think today they start. It was move-in weekend in Murray, so last week was kind of the last-ditched effort for everyone around the Murray State men's basketball program to get a little bit of time off before fall classes start, and then fall workouts obviously begin as well. And Ryan Miller was not in Murray. He was elsewhere. He was at with some family in Omaha. And I was also on a road game as well, which is why we didn't have a program last Wednesday. So I on the front end here, I asked for forgiveness on the audio on my end because, again, it was not our normal setup. So hopefully you'll be able to survive through that. But good conversation with Coach Miller about the trip. About the trip to the Bahamas, the 3 wins in the Bahamas, some standouts from the Bahamas, but also the non-conference schedule, which since we spoke last week at the time, everything was all of the games for Murray State were accounted for. The 11 non-conference games with 5 home games, 5 neutral games, 1 road game, but it was not officially official from the Murray State standpoint. But late last week, I believe it was Friday, they officially released that non-conference schedule a month and a half sooner than last year. It was toward the end of September last year when they finally were able to get it all done, able to speed through things a little bit better this year. But so when we talk about the schedule not being done, it is done. Just remember this conversation happened in the middle of last week. So without any further ado, let us welcome in the head coach of the Murray State Racers. Here is Ryan Miller.
Miller, welcome. Maybe it's the background in the house. You look tan. How did do we get any beach time in the Bahamas?
No, got too much beach time. Probably. I probably look a little red, but I'm pale and very white. So spending time on the Bahamas, it didn't take much to get my face red and my body burnt.
As a lifelong redhead, I can appreciate every word of that. So yeah. From your expectations going down there to actually going through it, how did those line up with what you were able to accomplish?
Well, I think we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, which is more than anything, just like I've said before, we've had 15 new players, 14 new staff members. Just to be able to have the time together was just so huge for us. Try to build that bond. So when November 3rd kicks up and we're going through a season where adversity hits, we have each other's back.
Fred King seemed to be the guy everybody was excited to watch play, and you've seen him for 3 years. Competition was maybe less than down there, but what did you like what you saw to Fred?
Yeah, obviously when you went in the transfer portal and coached him 3 years at Creighton, I knew how talented he was, how big an impact he could make for us. Unfortunately for him, and fortunately for us, he played behind Ryan Kalkbrenner, who was the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar winner last year. So that award goes to the best center in the country. So he's had a lot of tutelage in practices, going against a guy like Ryan Kalkbrenner. And then he performed when he got his opportunity when Kalkbrenner was out. So I knew he could perform on the big stage, and I saw in practice every day his ability to impact the game with his size and his athleticism.
Look, it's August, and this is a kid that, played in spurts behind Kalkbrenner, but hey, he played 25 minutes for you down there. How do you think he handled more time on the floor in bigger chunks?
I think he handled it pretty good. We still got to get him in shape. I wanted to play 25 plus minutes of elite basketball, and he's not there yet. But that being said, it's August 11th or 12th, whatever it is. So there's no reason for that. But by the time the season cranks up, his body fat needs to be 10% or under. I think he's made some significant strides with that over the summer. But for him to play as impactful and as efficient that he needs to play for us to win basketball games, he needs to be in elite condition. It's a big opportunity for Fred because he sat behind Kalkbrenner, one of the best bigs in the country, for 3 years. So this is his time where he's going to have a platform to show his ability, not only for here from Murray State, but for hopefully a professional career once he leaves here.
What did you like offensively down there?
I liked our unselfishness. I really thought we were very unselfish. We went from good to great shots a lot. That's what kind of the model of our team. There was no selfishness. Guys were already sharing the ball. Guys were already playing for each other. That was really awesome. We have a lot of things to clean up. Sometimes our emotion got stagnant. Sometimes we got a little sloppy. But again, it's August and we'll clean those things up. But as far as watching them perform and getting up the court and sharing the ball, I was very, very pleased with.
I feel like we could go one player after another, and this guy did great. This guy did great. One kid that kind of jumped out, especially early, was Lachlan Crate, just coming in from New Zealand. What did you like about what you saw from Lachlan?
Yeah, Lachlan, obviously a kid that can make an impact early. His toughness, his basketball acumen, his ability to impact the game in different ways, whether it's defensively and rebounding. You don't have to run a play for him, and he just finds a way to impact the game. He has a knack for the offensive glass, has a knack for the defensive glass, and then he guards and competes at a high level.
And he's physically seems ready, not your normal freshman.
Yeah, so he's physically ready to play. He's played in the NBL in New Zealand. You could throw him in a Missouri Valley Conference game today without the fall training, without the in-season training, and he'd be ready to perform in that kind of setting.
Everybody had their moments, it seemed like, at some point. We know you can't play 12, 13, 14 guys. It's August 12th. Do you have a number in your head yet of what the rotation will be?
I mean, we're going to have to get to a rotation of 10 just so we have some consistency, 10 to 11. And we'll figure it out from there. I mean, there'll probably be some kids that we want to keep everybody in this program because we believe we have the kids that can impact winning, whether it's November 3rd in the basketball game this in 2025-26 season or November 3rd in the 26-27 season that can impact the game. We love our whole roster. So we have to be creative. We're going to have to think outside the box of how we get to a rotation that's easily manageable, but yet keep our roster intact so we create culture and we create a foundation in this program.
When we talked a couple months ago, as you bring in these international kids in who are used to maybe developing, sitting behind older guys, and man, they're all playing great down there. You're just like, I don't know how we're supposed to sit. And one of those was Roman Damon, who showed up right before you guys left, didn't play down there. How is he acclimated in the 2 weeks that you've had a chance to see him?
I mean, his basketball acumen, he was able to practice a few days with us. So his basketball acumen, his size and skill level, I mean, he's all 6'9", 6'10", very skilled, very athletic. He reminds me, I told him this during his recruiting process and the staff, he reminds me a lot of my younger brother, Mike, when he was in high school. His size, his versatility, his ability to put the ball on the deck. At that time, Mike wasn't a great shooter then either. Roman is a good shooter, not a great shooter. We'll have to clean up some of that up a little bit, get his game a little bit more efficient. But once he does that, the sky's the limit for him. I mean, he's a potential professional basketball player, whether it's Euro League or NBA. But that's to be seen. I mean, he has to come in every day, work very hard. I mean, those margins are slim to play at those levels. So he's really, really talented. We're going to have to find ways to get him on the court when he gets in a routine with us.
And my understanding is Roman does not speak any English. Is that correct?
No, he speaks English.
Okay.
It's not great.
I got you.
But I guess lucky for us, it's better than I thought it was. I mean, he plays kind of coy a little bit, but once you get comfortable, and he gets comfortable with the staff and got comfortable with the team, you can see his English coming to speak a little more. He was just shy, I would say. I mean, like I would be if I went to France and they asked me to talk French, and if I knew a little bit of French, I would be very careful of how I talk because I'd be scared and saying something. So after you got comfortable with the team, you can see his English coming out. So I wouldn't say he's great English speaker, but he's good enough. And we have French speaking guys on staff. So
yeah, and that was an important part of that whole process. Just you got a little window of time here to relax before fall semester starts for everybody, and then we're into the grind to get ready for November 3rd. What's sort of your number one focus right now when you guys get back together?
I just keep building this team chemistry and keep building this team bond, and then just keep setting our foundation both offense and defensively. I think you saw a little bit of what we're trying to do both offensively and defensively in the Bahamas. We're going to try to get up into the ball. We're going to try to pressure the ball. We're going to try to create deflections. We're going to try to turn the ball, get teams to turn the ball over a little bit so we can win some possession games. And then we're going to crash the glass like crazy. And then we're going to share the ball. So just keep setting those type of things up and keep building those team bonds. I mean, we're going to do a lot of team events again this fall. We added the guys late, so it'll be really good for this group of guys to really spend some more time together. So like I said, when that adversity hits, because it's going to hit sometime, that we can lean on each other.
Schedule is for the most part all done. Five home games, 5 neutrals, 1 road game, a real high major schedule for Murray State. Did it end up the way you wanted it to?
It's going to be a very challenging schedule, obviously. It's probably a little bit too challenging than I wanted it. I probably wanted another high major team or so on the slate, whether it was us getting bought or in an MTE, but it worked out pretty good. I mean, Akron's going to be tough as heck. Cayman Islands MTE is going to be tough with Middle Tennessee, McNeese, and George Washington. Then, of course, that trip to Dallas to play at SMU. I mean, the schedule's tough, and it's going to be challenging. And, we just got to prepare every day this fall for it.
In terms of handling scheduling in the past at higher major places and now in the mid-major level, what was the one thing that surprised you? Maybe you thought, hey, I think I can get this accomplished, but maybe couldn't.
The biggest thing I thought we could get bought. Like we couldn't even get bought. That was the biggest thing. I think it's not because they think we're going to be so good. It's the fear of the unknown. So teams don't know us yet. So they don't know how we're going to play, what type of players we're going to play with, how our coaching style is going to be. So I think that was very challenging because we would get bought by a high power conference team. I mean, but we couldn't even get bought by them. So that was probably the most challenging aspect of it. And as you look at it too nationally, I mean, I believe the players there next year they're going up to 32 teams.
Right.
So it's just going to be really challenging to play high major teams on a consistent basis because they're just trying to cut us out of the deal.
So how do you combat that for 26, 27?
I mean, we're going to have to be so good that it doesn't hurt them, win or loss. I mean, Gonzaga didn't start there. I'm not going to say we're Gonzaga by any means, but Gonzaga didn't start as a team that was desirable on the schedule. Creighton's playing at home with Gonzaga next year. I mean, 15 years ago or whatever it was, 20 years ago when Gonzaga became Gonzaga, they didn't start that way either. So we're just going to have to continue to build the brand and where we go from maybe the middle area to the upper echelon potentially where, the challenge, if you play a neutral site against a high major opponent, they're not scared of the loss.
Is there any world that a Murray State could have a brand at a level that they would be invited to the Players Era?
We'd have to win obnoxiously, like Gonzaga did. I mean, Gonzaga's in the mid-major league. They play in the West Coast Conference, and they just won so high a level that they're invited to all those events now. That's what you'd have to do. And, why not us? I mean, it'll take a while to build it, but Murray State has the potential to do it just because the fans care. There's great fan support. The people care. You have great leadership in Nico Yanko and the rest of the administration. You have a board of trustees that cares about men's basketball and athletics at Murray State. So those things are all aligned. So if you get that alignment, it can happen.
season opener, the Field of 68, going back to South Dakota. I feel like we're going to talk about November 3rd for 100 more days before we get there, but just how neat is that for you to be able to go home?
Oh, it's an unbelievable deal. When I got the job in March, Jeff Goodman, who's with the Field of 68, and Rob Dosters with the Field of 68, both connected with me, say, hey, we'd love to have you in our annual Field of 68 event at the Pentagon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I've coached a few times up in Sioux Falls at that Pentagon event. Not that event, but up there against BYU, against UNLV. It's a great facility. We're excited to be in that event. Playing Omaha, who won the Summit League championship last year, and then they were an NCAA tournament team. So when the ball gets tipped on November 3rd, we're getting right into it because we get a challenging opponent.
And I guess the final piece that hasn't been officially announced by Murray State, but your alma mater, Northern State, coming to Murray for an exhibition game. How did that work out to be able to bring some familiar faces back to Murray?
We ended up losing a game that we had on an exhibition game schedule, so I thought it'd be really neat to tie into my roots a little bit. They called me, asked me if we have a game exhibition, and we wanted to play a Division II team or something similar to that at home, just so we can, because we're still on open tryouts, an exhibition.
Yep.
We're going to play all of our guys again, just like we did in the Bahamas, to give them all a look, see what our team chemistry looks like. So we wanted to play a Division II opponent, and it just happened to work out with Northern State where I played. And so there's a lot of cool things that are happening, and we're just fortunate that the administration's given us ability to do that, to be able to go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, to play Omaha, to tie into my roots a little bit, and then obviously play my alma mater, Northern State University, where we had a really good career there. So pretty excited about that.
1997, you scored 55 in a game. What can you tell me about that night?
Yeah, no, it was against Southern Indiana, and the head coach there was Bruce Pearl at the time. So it was a pretty extraordinary game. I mean, there's an asterisk by it. It was a triple overtime game, but still it's 55, I guess.
Listen, when you're telling the grandkids about you scored 55, triple overtime doesn't have to come up.
Exactly. I had a better game actually. That regionally in South Dakota, people know about. It was a regional championship against South Dakota State to go to Elite Eight, into the Division II Elite Eight in 1998 against South Dakota State, when we were kind of rivals at the time. Now South Dakota State, since it's gone Division I. Yeah. Where I had a really good game there. We won the regional championship on their home court. So that's the one that they remember around South Dakota.
Final couple days before you get back to Murray and get back to work. What's the relaxation of choice for Ryan Miller?
Just spending time, just trying to get things off my mind, but it's pretty hard. I was in and out of sleep like at 5 a.m. this morning, and I was just thinking of different offensive things we could do and different defensive things we could do. So it's not turning off too much. I'm trying to turn off the switch a little bit while we get into it, but it's not happening. So I'm just excited about getting there. And we crank back up August 19th. We're with the guys, get with the guys again. That's my happy place, man. Just being on the court with the guys, being off the court with the guys, spending time with them. So, and the staff. So that's kind of my deal. I'm kind of singular focused, and I don't really have many hobbies besides this. So I love it. It's my passion.
There was Ryan Miller last week when we got a chance to catch up, and I think, and I've listened to that a couple of times now. I think the phrase he used that jumped out to me as much as anything was, how do you get into the Players Era Festival? And he's like, you'll have to win obnoxiously, I believe was the word he used. And it's just the challenge. And as these non-conference schedules continue to come in, and I think you're going to see the perception, maybe is probably the best way to put it, of how do other schools look at you as a Valley school, and ultimately from a standpoint of, will you be bought? And like I said, I think at this point, Bradley was not bought. Belmont, again, I don't have the schedules in front of me, but I feel like we went through this exercise last week. Bradley was not bought. Belmont was not bought. Murray State was not bought. And that speaks volumes because there's usually a game. They've got to fill out their schedule with somebody, and you get bought. Nobody's getting bought anymore at the top of these leagues because they're going to go play the Players Era. They're going to go play in these other MTE cocoons where they're just playing against each other, these Power 4 schools, and just cutting the mid-majors out of the loop. So that will be something to, just something to watch. Maybe not as much this year, but 100% once we get to next year. Once the players era goes from 18 to 32. And there's that, and it's not just, hey, that's 32 teams that are going to play each other. That's 32 teams that are going to play 4 games together. And I mean, that wipes out, if you have, 11 non-conference games and you've got, all right, I mean, how many of these power schools go by 5, 6, 7 games? And then you've got 4 games in the players era. Well, they're done. They're done. And so there is no need for anybody in the mids, the upper mids, especially, to be able to play them. So that will be something to watch. But Racers back on campus. I was down at they had a football scrimmage on Saturday, and the men's basketball team was there. And I was off having a conversation, and a couple guys came walking down the aisle, and Ramon Doman was one of them. And I was standing on another step that was up another level from Doman, and yeah, he walked by me eye to eye. I was like, yeah, he is every bit of 6'9", 6'9", 6'10", whatever he may be. But he's the one. He's now the one that is. We got some questions answered from that trip to the Bahamas. Of all these guys have been nothing but they've all been in theory. What could they do in theory? You got to see him a little bit again against much lesser competition down in the Bahamas, but you got to see them outside of an open gym or a practice. If you're a Murray State fan, Damon is the one that we haven't gotten to see in practice yet. We've seen him in practice, haven't gotten to see him in living color, I guess, against other competition. And we will see that soon enough. You say 77 days here until the start of the 2025-26 season. But 2 months from today, October the 18th, Murray State will play their first exhibition game at Xavier. I don't know where Drake just fell out of my brain. At Xavier, they will play. So it's getting soon. It's getting close, and certainly can't wait for that. All right. Some news out of Northern Iowa as athletic director Dr. Megan Franklin announcing that UNI is launching an athletics competitive excellence funds plural, moving forward. And this is their answer to this is their answer to the House settlement, the House, the collectives, revenue sharing, trying to find a way to, I say combat it, but it's probably as much as anything as embracing it and trying to thrive in this arena. And Dr. Franklin, through Northern Iowa's social media channels over the weekend, I guess it was Friday afternoon, put out a brief video. I don't know that as much explained it. Maybe here. Enough of me talking. Here's Dr. Franklin with the announcement of the Athletic Competitive Excellence Funds being launched.
Hello, Panther fans. With a new athletics season starting later this month, I am pleased to announce creation of the Panther Athletics Revenue Share Program. Earlier this summer, UNI elected to opt in to the additional benefits provided through the House settlement. This decision paved the way to a revenue share program for Panther Athletics. In alignment with name, image, and likeness laws, these sports-specific competitive excellence funds have been established for donors interested in supporting student-athlete revenue-sharing opportunities. The program is designed to provide donors an opportunity to support the competitive excellence of which we take pride in across the Panther Athletics sport portfolio. The Competitive Excellence Funds contribute to the recruitment and retention of Panther student-athletes proud to wear UNI across their chest as they compete for conference and national championships. We have invited donors to consider how best to support student-athletes. We are pleased that in this new era of NCAA Division I athletics, we can introduce a new avenue for donors to leave their legacies. Every gift matters across the Panther Athletics portfolio. I am grateful to the donors who have joined us in the legacy era of Panther Athletics. Thank you. Go Panthers!
The old TV guy in me dying watching that video because it was just a little bit too much headroom on Dr. Franklin. Enough of that. So you dig into the weeds a little bit about this athletics competitive excellence funds, and really the main thing that that kind of jumps out is no more collectives at UNI. They have basically closed up shop on their collective. We've seen different schools handle this differently. I know Murray State's collective is still alive and well, even though, look, everybody in the conference is dealing with revenue share, so this doesn't have to be an either or. But Murray State has their collective still. You've seen a more direct focus from Bradley, from Illinois State, that their collectives were really going to be focused, seemingly publicly forward-facing, really going to be focused on women's basketball. Where I think you can read between the lines that the revenue sharing was going to be more focused towards men's basketball, but you still have this mechanism over here that you can help raise money, but they are not doing that at UNI. They basically, the collective is no more, and it's just they have this excellence fund that is now just sports specific. That's probably the most important thing. And when you go through it, it's like you go in and you can donate, and it's like, where do you want to donate it? I think rather than to a whether it's earmarked to you can earmark it to a specific sport, as opposed to I'm just going to throw it in the pot and then allow them to disperse that money however they choose. So it's everybody's doing it a little bit differently, but that's the way UNI is going about it. And I think that in the end, the one thing that I did see in the fine print was, can you donate to one athlete? And it was like, no, you cannot do that. There will be no direct ultimately paying of athletes, because that's what has to go through this CSC, the NIL Go world now, where if you have an NIL deal north of $600, it has to be audited to make sure that there is actually work being done for that money, and that is ultimately what that sort of works against. So you can't just pay one specific player, but you can send the money into the team, no matter what the team is: basketball, football, women's basketball, tennis, track and field, whatever it may be, and then they will use it at their discretion. But UNI, similar path, but a little bit different ultimately with this fund, and as they continue to move forward and try to thrive in the new era. Felt like coming out of COVID, it was the new normal. Everything was the new normal, and now with Division I college athletics, it's the new era that we are very much trying to wrap our heads around and move forward with. All right, some scheduling news to get to this morning, and stuff we've known about, but now that stuff that is officially official, as Northern Iowa will host Wichita State coming up on December the 6th. Wichita putting out their schedule, and so this a good matchup certainly for the Panthers. Return game on the home and home, and a good one. Again, just all these types of games, those teams that are just hovering around the top 100 area. It's like, can they get into the top 100? Can they get into the top 75? Can they justify themselves as a quad 2 game before the dust settles on the season, to sort of help that postseason resume for folks? But this is old friends from the Valley from not too long ago. But UNI and Wichita meeting up one more time. The University of Kentucky hosting their MTE, which we talked about last week. Kentucky will host Valpo on November the 7th. There are some games in there where Valpo is going to get a home game from that MTE. Not all the games being played at Rupp Arena. And so Valpo will not play the first day of the season, November 3rd. They will wait till November the 4th, but they will host Eastern Illinois as part of that Kentucky MTE. But Valpo, this will be a game. Eastern Illinois, a lower level quad 4 game for Valpo. So one that you'd like to be able to get. But certainly, look, it's opening day. A lot of times schools will play those non-D1s. Just let's get some confidence and let's try to pick up a win on opening day of the season. And while EIU certainly a Division I team out of the Ohio Valley Conference, hopefully Valpo will be able to get off to a good start for Roger Powell. And finally this morning, a old friend alert from Ali Deba, our former Southern Illinois guard, third team All Missouri Valley Conference last year. And Deba has signed with Texas A&M, got a waiver last week for a 5th year of eligibility after started his career at Chicago State, played 5 games as a freshman, but got that year back. And so after a really nice season at SIU last year, where he averaged 17 points a game, 5 rebounds, again, picked up third team All Missouri Valley Conference honors, got that 5th year, got into the portal, and it was just, am I going to be able to play? That was the $1 million question. And for Deba, it took all the way until mid-August to get that answer, but he got the answer. And Texas A&M had room, and now Ali Deba is headed to College Station to finish up his college career. All right, that does it for today's edition of Morning in the Valley. And thanks to Murray State head coach Ryan Miller for being with us last week, able to get him on here today. It is a big day. This is really today's kind of the first day around the conference, and you've seen it happening all over the conference. There may be some instances where it's next week as well, but today it's like we've made it through summer. Kids are back on campus, classes are beginning, and so we will be able to have the ability now to, vacations are over and breaks are over and all of that we're going to have access to everybody in the conference again. Now that the summer has officially concluded, and sorry guys and gals, back to work you go, back to school you go. I know the gym part's not the problem. Maybe the school part's like, if my children are any indication, not doing backflips about summer vacation being over, but excited that it feels officially we are on the downhill slope towards November 3rd and the opening of the 25-26 season. If you haven't done so, please head to YouTube and subscribe. Just search out Morning in the Valley. It's all free. Subscribe, share, like, comment, all that stuff. And it will be very much appreciated as we continue to grow this program a little bit more every day. We'll see you on Wednesday morning, 9 a.m., right here on Morning in the Valley.